Hello, YouTube. In the year 221 before Common Era, the provinces of China were for the first time united under one government, and the effort was completed by Qin Shi Huang when he was 38 years old. And he used the title Huan Di, which means emperor, indicating that he was the king of the kings that had been defeated by him. He also used the title of Shi Huang Di, first emperor, as an aspiration that his successor would use the title of second, third, and so on. Among his efforts to make sure that his government is strong and firmly established was the elimination of beliefs and thoughts other than legalism, beliefs that are rooted in his government. Hence, books that are against the idea of the empire, contained in history, literature, and philosophy, those books were burned. The belief was that these burned works have copies and are stored in the palace archives. And those works that preserved the progress of science, such as medicine and agriculture, were reportedly preserved and maintained. The emperor also ordered around 500 to 700 scholars to be buried alive for keeping and possessing banned books. It was known that the buried scholars were Confucian scholars. At the peak of his life and power, Qin Shi Huang began to fear death and was desperate to get an elixir of life that can prolong his life. The emperor was so obsessed with the immortality that he was somewhat easily deceived by those who supposedly would offer the elixir. There is a hypothesis that the scholars who were once buried by the emperor alive were not really Confucian scholars, but the alchemists. One day the emperor discovered that two alchemists had deceived him about this elixir of life. He did an investigation to find out who the alchemist was, but no one confessed. Instead, these alchemists accused each other until they were all buried alive. Qin Shi Huang's life ended in the inability to find the elixir of immortality. His cause of death is unknown, but there is a record that the emperor died because he swallowed a mercury pill which was supposed to prolong life, but apparently it poisoned him to death. Over 2,000 years have passed, and a stone carving discovered in Qinghai stirred debate over the legacy of this seeker of immortality. What I'll tell you is according to the Chinese media in the year 2025. A stone carving that some scholars believe dates back more than 2,200 years and could carry major cultural significance has ignited a heated debate among history enthusiasts, as several university professors have raised concerns that the inscriptions may be modern forgeries. The controversy began with a June 8 report in Guangming Daily, in which Tong Tao, a researcher at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences Institute of Archaeology, claimed that archaeologists had recently discovered a stone carving linked to Emperor Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang, the first Chinese ruler to hold the title Huan Di, or emperor, who founded the Qin dynasty, 221 to 206 before Common Era. According to the report, the inscriptions were found near Gyarling Lake in present-day Madoi County, Qinghai Province, at the altitude of about 4,300 meters. Photos published alongside the story in Chinese media showed that the characters were clear and in relatively good condition. Carved in Xiaozhuan, a signature script of the Qin era, The inscription was interpreted as describing a team of Fang Shi, alchemists, led by a Wu Da Fu, a minister-level official, who were traveling by wagon to Kunlun Mountain in search of elixirs for immortality. The text claims that the group reached the lake in the third month of the 26th year of Qin Shi Huang's reign and would travel another 150 li, about 62 kilometers, to reach their final destination. In ancient Chinese texts, Kunlun Mountain is imbued with mythological importance, like Mount Olympus in Greek mythology. It is also believed to be the birthplace of the Yellow River, often referred to as the Mother River of China. Today, Kunlun refers to a long mountain range in western China, but its precise location in the pre-Qin times is still debated among scholars. The carving was found by Gyarin Lake with the Bayan-Har Mountains to the south. So the search for elixirs in Kunlun should refer to Bayan-Har, which undoubtedly corresponds to the sacred Kunlun Mountain in the pre-Qin classics, Tong wrote. He added that the identification of Kunlun matches perfectly with pre-Qin geographical texts that pointed to Kunlun as the source of the Yellow River, noting that modern hydrological studies confirm the Gyaring Lake and Bayan-Har Mountains as headwaters of the river. Historical texts state that 7 stone monuments were carved to commemorate Emperor Qin Shi Huang's achievements following his inspection tours across the unified empire between 219 and 211 before Common Era. Only 2 fragmentary examples have survived, both badly damaged and nearly illegible. Tong called the new find the only existing Qing dynasty carving at its original site and the most complete one. Some online commentators hail the find as monumental. Historical maps will be redrawn and the debate over Kunlun's location will be resolved. Salute to archaeologists who braved the elements, one person wrote. However, the carving has also drawn skepticism, including from academics, over its authenticity. If the inscription's meaning was interpreted correctly, then I highly suspect this is a modern forgery. That would mark a new level of falsification, according to Xin De-Yong, a history professor at Peking University, without elaborating. He repeated his doubts in later social media posts and said he plans to write a book analyzing what he called an unbelievably fake inscription. Liu Zongdai, a professor at Beijing Language and Culture University, pointed out logistical inconsistencies in the story. For the team to arrive at the location by the stated time, he said, they would have had to set out the previous autumn or winter, an implausible scenario given the high altitude and harsh climate. He also questioned how the travelers could have anticipated the formal use of the title emperor, which was proclaimed during the same year as their supposed journey. Additional doubts have been raised regarding the inscribed date, grammar, and terminology, with both supporters and skeptics presenting arguments. For instance, Liu Zhao, a professor of ancient texts at Fudan University, said the engraving technique, particularly the direction of certain character strokes, aligns with the known calligraphic style of the Qin period. He also noted that a rare way of writing Kunlun seen in the inscription matches that of Qin-era bamboo slips unearthed in Hunan province. Because that writing style has only been documented in the past 20 years, and is otherwise unknown, Liu argued that it would require a forger with deep and niche academic knowledge to replicate it. Nanjing-based Xinyu News reported that Hou Guangliang, a professor at Shanghai Normal University, first identified the inscription in July 2020 with a field survey. At the time, he said only a few characters, including Huang, could be clearly made out. Hou initially suggested the inscription may have been created after the Yuan dynasty, 1271 to 1368, using Qin-style characters for visual effect. He also said the harsh conditions around Gyaring Lake make long-term preservation of carvings difficult, and that only from the Yuan period onward did the region come under stable government control, allowing large expeditions to be logically feasible. However, Hou has since reconsidered. In a recent interview with Southern Metropolis Daily, he described his earlier comments as a bit shallow and said further research is needed. In a commentary, the Beijing News encouraged the public to see the controversy as a process of academic refinement and an opportunity to popularize archaeology. The truth will gradually emerge through rigorous research and evidence-based discussion, the editorial said. Bottom line, somewhere in the Kunlun Mountains may be the secret to the elixirs of immortality. 62 kilometers from Lake Gyaring. Remember how Vladimir Putin and Xi, president of China, were recently overheard discussing immortality? I would guess that we should expect new expeditions to the site, but somewhat better equipped and staffed by military scientists, not the Feng Shi of Chinese antiquity. As for the location, Madoi County is a county of Golog Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture in southeast central Qinghai province. Its area is about 25,000 square kilometers and with an average elevation of 4,300 meters. It is the highest Chinese county by average elevation. In Madoi County is the upper stream of the Yellow River, which flows to Ngoring and Gyaring lakes. That's what I wanted to let you know today. And I'll, of course, bring you more developments in China and interesting stories about its archaeology, its paranormal phenomena, of course, and its space exploration. And sometimes the paranormal phenomena and space exploration go hand in hand. If you like my research, please support through the links you find to description. In description to this video, please like my videos. Please tell others about my channel. And I want to thank you for all your attention to my work.